everyone, welcome to Shell Sugar Rush and welcome back if you've been here before. Today I'm going to be making this adorable Mickey Mouse sheet cake, and I'm going to be making Mickey's face out of fondant. And to go along with this adorable cake, I'm also going to be making a smash cake for the birthday boy. So if you would like to learn how to make this cake or just want to watch me put it together, then stick around. So I started with a template of Mickey's head and face, and I've cut that out on cardboard, and I've actually made 3 copies of that, because in the first one I want the whole entire thing, and the second one I cut out just the face, and then for the third cutout I actually cut just the features out of the cardboard. So you can see here I'm using a flesh colored fondant for Mickey's face, and I took that cutout and just went around with my X-Acto knife and cut out the entire face. And I am using the face as a guide, the cutout as a guide to make the grooves in the face. And here you can see I'm taking the features and laying them on top of the face and just kind of tracing over them with my fondant tool, just so I'll know where exactly I need to lay those pieces once I cut them out. So here I'm going to start with the eyes, and I'm just rolling out some white fondant, and I'm going to take those eye cutouts and lay them on top of the fondant and just make that same cut in my fondant and just kind of clean up those edges. And I'm going to use a little bit of water on my brush here just to adhere the fondant to the face piece of fondant. So I'm just doing that with the other one as well. And then I am going to take the red and I am going to make the tongue. And again, I'm just using that cutout that I made of the tongue and just shaping the fondant there so that I get that exact look for the mouth. And I'm going to take a couple little pieces of my black fondant to make those pupils in the eyes. And here I'm rolling out another piece of the black fondant and just shaping it for the nose. And I'll just take my fondant tool around the edges if there's any places that aren't perfect. I just take that fondant tool and kind of smooth those edges around the pieces. So here I'm just finishing with the pupils, and then I'm going to move on to the lines or grooves in the face that are around all the features and part of the mouth. And for those, I'm going to be taking some more of that black fondant, and I'm going to roll it out very thin. And as you can see here, I'm going to go around the eyes, and just like on the picture of Mickey's face. And you can do this with the black edible marker, which will work just fine, but I prefer this look just because I think it looks a little nicer and a little sharper and cleaner. So I'm just going to finish up the fondant trim here around the features and in the grooves, and then we'll move on to adding Mickey's face to his head. So now we're ready to roll out some more black fondant for Mickey's head, and this time we'll need a pretty big piece, and I'm going to go ahead and just cut this out, and then our face is ready to put right on here. I always like to do the face first, just because there's so many elements to it, and it'll take longer, of course. I just prefer to get that part out of the way. So here I've got the head cut out, and I've just cleaned it up a little bit on the edges, and I'm using a little bit of that water to attach the face, and then I'll just make any adjustments where they may need to be. And for the cake that Mickey is going on, I have 2 layers of vanilla cake, and it has already been crumb coated with some American buttercream. And now I have colored some of that buttercream with Red by Chef Master, and I am going to just finish this off by giving it a final coat, pretty generous coat, because I want to be able to smooth it out without uncovering the white underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and get the edges real smooth and get this finished off, and then we will start putting some decor on. And now I'm placing Mickey on the cake based on where I need him for the other decor that's going to be around. And here I'm using a lemon yellow in some of that buttercream to make a border, and I'm just using a round tip to make this particular border on the cake. And now I'm just using some more of that black fondant to cut out letters and Mickey heads that I will need for additional decor on the cake. So for placing the letters on the cake, I like to put them on the cake and then just use a little tool to move them around and make sure that they are where I want them to be. And then at that point, once I feel like I have them in place, then I will kind of press them in to make sure they adhere to that buttercream. And here I'm placing the Mickey heads along the sides of the cake, and 2 on the long sides and 1 on the ends. And then of course I'm also going to cut out number 1 out of some yellow fondant here to place on the Mickey head at the end of the cake. And here I'm just taking some of my white fondant and using the end of a piping tip and cutting out some circles to fill in around the sides around those Mickey heads for added decor. And now for our smash cake, I have a 3-layer vanilla 6-inch cake here. It's been crumb coated and chilled, and I am putting that final coat of American buttercream on it. And then you can see here I have the Mickey head set aside, already cut out, and I'm going to put the larger one on the top of the cake along with a number 1 on top of it. And then I'm going to pipe a lemon yellow border with my buttercream, with the dots or the circle tip, just like I did on the larger cake. And I'm going to use the 4 Mickey heads on the sides of the cake, and then in between I'm going to take that buttercream and just pipe some polka dots in there. And then I'm going to come back with my red American buttercream and do the same thing with the border on the bottom and the polka dots in between. And of course our cakes are complete. Please let me know what you think about these in the comments. I love hearing from everyone. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And don't forget, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you'll be notified when I upload more videos in the future. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you next time.